An intellectual says a simple thing in a hard way. An artist says a hard thing in a simple way. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must live. The free soul is rare, but you know it when you see it, basically because you feel good, very good, when you are near or with them. If you're losing your soul and you know it, then you've still got a soul left to lose. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Censorship is the tool of those who have the need to hide actualities from themselves and from others. Their fear is only their inability to face what is real, and I can't vent any anger against them, I only feel this appalling sadness. Somewhere in their upbringing, they were shielded against the total facts of our existence. It's possible to love a human being if you don't know them too well. I have no definite talent or trade, and how I stay alive is largely a matter of magic. I do not like the human race. I don't like their heads, I don't like their faces, I don't like their feet, I don't like their conversations, I don't like their hairdos, I don't like their automobiles. Genius might be the ability to say a profound thing in a simple way. You begin saving the world by saving one man at a time, all else is grandiose romanticism or politics. There will always be something to ruin our lives, it all depends on what or which finds us first. We are always ripe and ready to be taken. If I write badly about blacks, homosexuals and women, it is because of these who I met were that. There are many bads, bad dogs, bad censorship, there are even bad white males. Only, when you write about bad white males, they don't complain about it. And need I say that there are good blacks, good homosexuals and good women? Somebody once asked me what my theory of life was, and I said, don't try. That fits the writing, too. I don't try, I just type, I only type every third night. I have no plan. My mind is a blank. I sit down. The typewriter gives me things I don't even know I'm working on. It's a free lunch. A free dinner. I don't know how long it is going to continue, but so far there is nothing easier than writing. When I worked on a magazine, I learned that there are many, many writers writing that can't write at all, and they keep on writing all the cliches and bromides and 1890 plots, and poems about spring and poems about love, and poems they think are modern because they are done in slang or staccato style, or written with all the pies small. I kept writing not because I felt I was so good, but because I felt they were so bad, including Shakespeare, all those. The stilted formalism, like chewing cardboard. I have not worked out my poems with a careful will, falling rather on haphazard and blind formulation of wordage, a more flowing concept, in a hope for a more new and lively path. I do personalize at times, but this only for the grace and elan of the dance. When everything works best, it's not because you chose writing but because writing chose you. It's when you're mad with it, it's when it's stuffed in your ears, your nostrils, under your fingernails. It's when there's no hope but that, the female loves to play man against man. And if she is in a position to do it, there is not one who will resist. It's when you begin to lie to yourself in a poem in order to simply make a poem, that you fail. When I write, when I'm going hot, I don't want to write more than 4 hours in a row. After that, you're pushing it. Most poets are young simply because they have not been caught up. Show me an old poet, and I'll show you, more often than not, either a madman or a master. It's when you begin to lie to yourself in a poem in order simply to make a poem that you fail. That is why I do not rework poems. We're all going to die, all of us, what a circus. That alone should make us love each other, but it doesn't. We are terrorized and flattened by trivialities. We are eaten up by nothing. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is that in a democracy you vote first and take orders later, in a dictatorship you don't have to waste your time voting, almost everybody is born a genius and buried an idiot. The male, for all his bravado and exploration, is the loyal one, the one who generally feels love. The female is skilled at betrayal and torture and damnation. I don't like the clean-shaven boy with the necktie and the good job. I like desperate men, men with broken teeth and broken minds and broken ways. They interest me. They are full of surprises and explosions. We are here to unlearn the teachings of the church, state, and our education system. There are women who can make you feel more with their bodies and their souls, but these are the exact women who will turn the knife into you right in front of the crowd. Of course, I expect this, but the knife still cuts. Show me a man who lives alone and has a perpetually clean kitchen, and 8 times out of 9 I'll show you a man with detestable spiritual qualities. The more cats you have, the longer you live. If you have 100 cats, you'll live 10 times longer than if you have 10. Someday this will be discovered, and people will have 1,000 cats and live forever. It's truly ridiculous. Having a bunch of cats around is good. If you're feeling bad, you just look at the cats, you'll feel better because they know that everything is just as it is. There's nothing to get excited about. They just know. They're saviors. We have wasted history like a bunch of drunks shooting dice back in the men's crapper of the local bar. To have entirely wasted one's life seems to be a worthy accomplishment, if only for myself. My days, my years, my life has seen up and downs, lights and darknesses. If I wrote only and continually of the light and never mentioned the other, then as an artist, I would be a liar. Even though I write about the human race, the further away from them, the better I feel. 2 miles is great, 2,000 miles is beautiful. I used to live on 1 candy bar a day, it cost a nickel. I always remember the candy bar was called Payday. That was my payday. And that candy bar tasted so good, at night I would take 1 bite, and it was so beautiful. My love is a hummingbird sitting that quiet moment on the bough, as the same cat crouches. What my character is or how many jails I have lounged in, or wards or walls or wassels, how many lonely heart poetry readings I have dodged, is beside the point. A man's soul or lack of it will be evident with what he can carve upon a white sheet of paper. My writing is jagged and harsh, I want it to remain that way, I don't want it smoothed out. Writers have to put up with this editor thing, it is ageless and eternal and wrong. Early on, when I was quite young and going from job to job, I was foolish enough to sometimes speak to my fellow workers, "Hey, the boss can come in here at any moment and lay all of us off, just like that, don't you realize that?" They would just look at me. I was posing something that they didn't want to enter their minds.